Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with Pro Wrestling Logic YouTube channel, and we are going to go into the SmackDown review for the 26th of February 2020, or 26th of June. I don't know why I'm in February. Anyway, 2020. So like, subscribe, comment below, and we will certainly be grateful for that. In any event, this was a tribute to The Undertaker, which I think was a good thing. I'm not completely sold on the claim in his documentary series, spoiler alert, that the AJ Styles Buried Alive Boneyard match, not Buried Alive, was his final match, but we'll wait and see. We'll see, if over the next few years that holds true. But if it was, certainly he gave, you know, 30 years of his career to the Undertaker character, and that is to be respected. They did do a good bit of positive reinforcement for the Undertaker character during this entire program. They open with an excellent video package related to the Undertaker and his time with the company. They show in several minutes, maybe 3 to 5 minutes, highlights of his entire career. It includes footage of Paul Bearer. It includes footage of Kane and all the major stars that Taker's been around for his entire career. Also included is the footage of his 1990 debut at Survivor Series 90 in November of that year. Members of the SmackDown roster are in ring when we go to live action, and they are chanting "Thank you, Taker," as one would expect. Michael Cole and Corey Graves, the ones calling the action for you on this particular evening, and they say that there will be highlights of Taker throughout the night and superstars discussing their love for Taker. I'm not going to review the AJ Styles versus Undertaker Boneyard match because that's available in my WrestleMania 36 review. If you want my thoughts on that match, go there instead. It is a exact replay of the match in its entirety, which was good for free TV. I wonder how it does in ratings. It's actually curious. As I record this, the ratings for Raw are out from last night, and they are the third lowest in the history of the modern era of the program. I assume modern era being the last 7 to 10 years. Anyway, we go back for some we go back to King Corbin. He's in the ring, and the fans are cheering for Taker. Corbin mocks Taker and noted that he's only had a 30-year career because he sucked up to Vince McMahon and the McMahon family. Corbin claims Taker is a member of a Kiss Your Tail Club, which I don't remember that ever happening. Again, I don't know why. Like, if you want to get heat on somebody for disrespecting Taker, why Corbin? Like, I loved, and to be fair, when we finally go back and do the NXT review from 6 or 7 years ago when they first started, I will admit to loving Baron Corbin when he was doing the 30-second squashes. I will even admit to being excited when he was brought to the main roster. By now, he's been so overpushed, so much oversaturation of him on television that I don't care what kind of match he has. I don't want to see him anymore. It's a case of, to me, he's got like X-Pac level heat. And maybe I'm the only one that feels that way, but I don't think so. Anyway, Corbin says that all the superstars coming on stage to support Taker are just, they're there to suck up, and then they're chanting "Thank you, Taker." The acknowledgement of Taker's real name being Mark Calloway is brought up. I don't know where that's helpful or useful or anything like that. Anyway, suddenly Jeff Hardy jumps into the ring. He attacks Corbin Corbin runs off, and Hardy stands in the ring. So somehow, Jeff Hardy, who is 42 years old, is the Avenger for The Undertaker. Like, you can't have, I don't know, a young talent who might have grown up idolizing Undertaker come out and be the one that avenges him. Instead, we have to have a guy who has been around Taker for 20 years avenge him. Again, it's just missed opportunities. We go to um, we go to footage of both Steve Austin and Kurt Angle putting over the Undertaker. Austin basically says he always knew Taker had something. Angle says that he would not have been nearly the wrestler he was without running across Taker, and acknowledges that Taker always put on top level matches at WrestleMania. In the back, Sarah approaches Hardy. Hardy's furious at Corbin for insulting Taker's legacy. Hardy said Taker was like a mentor to him and promised to take care of Corbin before the night is through. This is confirmed by Michael Cole as the main event of the evening. So, number one, you've got Jeff Hardy in the main event after he had difficulty getting past Sheamus. Number two, you have him main eventing with Baron Corbin, of all people. This is ridiculous. Anyway, speaking of ridiculous, we go to a fatal four-way match, which, for the record, I don't like these. I only like multi-person matches if they're elimination style, so that somebody actually finally gets over. But this is a four-way women's match. The winner of the match challenges for the women's championship with Bayley at Extreme Rules. I think Bayley has beaten all of these, and I think she acknowledges that in the commentary. But the combatants for your match are Lacey Evans, Dana Brooke, Alexa Bliss, and Nikki Cross. Bayley and Sasha join on commentary, which seems to be a weekly thing now. They are always great on commentary and a highlight of SmackDown. I actually wonder if some of the SmackDown executives aren't requesting them out there, because it seems really coincidental that they're given that many opportunities just randomly. Cross and Bliss work together because they're a team and friends. They clear the ring. Cross rolls up Bliss surprisingly for near fall. Makes sense, because who wouldn't want a championship opportunity? Bayley noted she'd never do that to Banks. I'm sure somewhere in the annals of the history between the two she has. So she's got selective memory going on. Anyway, Evans and Banks jump back up in the ring and they work together again. Bliss and Cross, that sounds like a form of pimple remover cream. But anyway, they work together and Evans jumps back in the ring. Evans turns on Brooks, knocks her out of the ring. Dana Brooke recovered and hit a swanton bomb on Evans, but Cross breaks up the pin attempt. Alexa Bliss attempted a twisted Bliss, but Brooks is able to get a knee up. Cross then hits a dropkick on Brooks. Cross charges in at Evans, but she avoids a slingshot elbow for the near fall. Brooke attempts handspring elbow, but Evans rocked her with the women's right. Cross then rolls up Evans for the surprise victory. Bayley's surprised. Bliss and Cross celebrate mid-ring. Cross challenges Bayley for the championship at Extreme Rules. I mean, everybody worked hard in the match. Don't get me wrong. I just, personal preference, I don't like multi-person matches. If this was real, if this was a fight, there wouldn't be these multi-person matches. And if you're going to do them, I'm partial to the way that both Jim Cornette in the mid-90s and Paul Heyman in the same era did them, which is elimination style with somebody getting over strong in the end. In the back, we have New Day, Lucha House Party, Morrison and Miz and Cesaro, and Cesaro and Nakamura. They're all arguing over what we really don't know. They're just making a bunch of unhappiness. Hunter and Shawn Michaels discuss the loyalty and the longevity of The Undertaker. Both are very complimentary, as is to be expected. Then we throw together another multi-person match. This time, the New Day and the Lucha House Party defeat Miz and Morrison and Nakamura and Cesaro. Another completely unneeded match, as they're just filling time. Big E and Miz begin the match. Big E wanted Nakamura or Cesaro, but gets Miz instead. Obviously, Big E wants this because of the attack last week. Doesn't get what he wants. Big E has an early advantage and hits what looks to be relatively painful big splash on the Miz on the outside off the apron. Big E uses or helps to use Lince Dorado on the Miz for near fall. Cesaro and Dorado, easy for me to say, had a relatively good wrestling exchange, and Cesaro lifts Dorado, but lands on his feet. Dorado rolls up Cesaro for near fall. Metalik hits a splash off Dorado's shoulders onto Cesaro for near fall of his own. And then Metalik and Nakamura go back and forth. It's amazing to me how far Nakamura has fallen. If you think a couple years ago he was in WrestleMania with AJ Styles, he's probably one of the biggest people in WWE right now, and now he's in a match like this that's a complete throwaway. Not only does it make me sad, it leaves me confused. Anyway, the good guys are in control until Nakamura pulls Kingston to the floor, tosses him into the barricade. Cesaro rocks Kingston with an uppercut, and Nakamura hits a knee to the side of the head. We go to the break. We come back. Heels are firmly in control. After the break, they've isolated Kofi Kingston. Remember when he was the WWE champion not too terribly long ago, and now he's in a match like this? Nonsensical booking, to say the very least. Miz and Morrison knocked Lucha House Party off the apron. Lots of apron work, and Nakamura with another cutoff. Cesaro distracts Big E, and Nakamura rocks him with a drop kick. Metalik gets a hot tag, hits a cross body for a near fall, follows up with a springboard Rana off the second rope for another near fall. Metalik charges Morrison, hits a Canadian Destroyer, again for near fall. Lots of near falls, but they're all inconsequential. Canadian Destroyer, personally, in my opinion, an overused move. Can't believe it's been around for over 15 years, because I remember getting yelled at for being excited about seeing one. Too excited, at least according to the person I was working for at the time, on commentary, because they weren't a fan of the move at the time. Anyway, that was 15 years ago, and I now feel very old. The New Day and Cesaro Nakamura continue to brawl. They fight back. Metalik makes a blind tag to Dorado, who hits a springboard stunner on The Miz. Dorado jumps off the top turnbuckle, hits a Rana off the apron on Morrison. That looks relatively scary, and probably was for everybody involved. Metalik hits a big elbow off the top rope on The Miz for the win. Finally, The Miz takes the fall. I don't think you can rehab Morrison at this point, but I'd love to see them try. Good match for the sake of filling time, but an inconsequential match that will not matter next week. Braun Strowman makes his way out to the ring, and then there's video interference of Bray Wyatt appearing on the big screen. They recap the return of Bray. Unfortunately, we're then treated, sadly, to a Braun Strowman promo. Universal Champion Braun Strowman, can't believe I said those 4 words in that particular order, talks about the first time he met Bray, and noted that he felt fear the first time he met him. One day they're sitting in the middle of the Wyatt compound, cabin, whatever, and there's water moccasins there, um, and one slithers out of the water. Strowman wants to stomp and kill it. Bray, however, stops him because he says, and I quote, "The snake is his friend." Wyatt